Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the NeuroAnimation Grow Your Brain podcast. I'm your host, Maddie Niebank, stroke survivor and graduate of the NeuroAnimation Bootcamp. In past episodes, we've heard about the science of neuroanimation and even heard from a fellow survivor who has completed the program. Today, I am joined by two people who are a key part of the neuroanimation experience, the coaches. Today, I'm joined by Preston Nutwell, Global Program Director, and Assistant Manager, Santiago Enrique Martinez Mendoza. Thank you both for being here today.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's happy to be here.
There's so much that we can dive into in this conversation, but before we really get into neuroanimation, I would love to hear just a little bit about both of your professional backgrounds.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are both exercise physiologists by our background. We have degrees in exercise science. Personally, I have experience with various different populations working in retirement homes and the Wexner hospitals, Nationwide Children's Hospital briefly, and just a personal training as well.
I mean, instead of we have exercise science majors from OSU, both of us actually, and my background turned a little more under OSU exercise and medicine facilities around New Albany and around different areas in Columbus as well.
And it's so interesting to me, so I know this, and I'm sure most of our listeners don't, that the two of you have actually known each other for quite a long time, and now you get to work together, which is so cool. So what attracted you both to working at NeuroAnimation?
I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do after college, trying to find a place where I could grow professionally, and NeuroAnimation presented with this opportunity where my degree and my experience lined up with their values and what they were trying to do in different populations. I applied to NeuroAnimation, and then I reached out to Preston, and we both ended up applying the same week, I think, if I don't misrecall.
Yeah, we both had interviews within like a 2-day period. I think we were actually living together at the time.
That's true.
But NeuroAnimation, it's a very unique company in that, one, I mean, what we're offering to the population we're working with is unlike anything else in the world, but also like the values that we have here aligns with the values that we hold personally. And so getting to help people is a common reason that people go into the workplace, but getting to do so in an environment where the sole focus is the people that we're trying to help is a blessing for sure.
So our listeners have learned in past episodes about the science of neuroanimation and how it works. But I'm sure that there are people who are coming on and listening for the first time. I'm wondering if you guys can maybe explain in simple terms what is neuroanimation and how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. So neuroanimation, it's a new therapy that is based in what we call neuroplasticity. I'm sure that many listeners are familiar with the term, but it's the brain's ability to heal itself. And what we're doing in neuroanimation is offering a technology that allows the brain to do that farther than anything else. We focus on growing an area of the brain specifically called the hippocampus, leading to deep neurological change in the neurological system.
Often how I would explain that to a client is that we are growing the specific part of the brain, the hippocampus, the same way we'll grow a muscle. We are pumping blood into it, and as they are going through the therapy, this area continues to grow and grow, the same way that when you're working out.
And now, so as someone who has gone through this boot camp now a handful of times and seen progress each time, it still blows my mind. Every time I do it, I think, how can I make more progress? Like, I've done this before. This isn't exactly new. Is my brain still capable of growing? Do either of you ever have clients who feel a bit hesitant or have doubts as to whether or not they're going to make progress? And how do you handle that?
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of the clients that we work with, and part of what we're about as a company is instilling hope into people that have lost it through just everything that they've gone through. There's always hope for the brain to regrow and recover itself. It just needs to be given the right tools to do so. But it's a very common experience to have doubts, right? You're like, how could what you're offering be different than anything else that I've tried, right? And it's a valid question, and there's also a very good answer out there for it, which is, if we're able to grow your brain and target what was actually damaged rather than the specific impairments, but the root cause, we're able to see progress in a much deeper and much more meaningful way.
For my own understanding, how do you go back to like targeting the root cause? What does that mean?
Yeah, so when you think about a neurological disorder or an event, right? These warriors that we're working with, the damage that they had was up here in the brain. It wasn't down here where the
Right.
impairments lie. And it, we'll also work with cognition, right? Where it's more noticeable that memory or processing speed, executive capacity, that's what is impaired. But the root cause is always what was damaged up here initially. And so rather than trying to work out and strengthen what's down here, we need to strengthen what's up here instead. And that's what we're trying to focus on. That's what neuroanimation provides, that growth of the brain, the growth of the area that was damaged, that we can see recovery through.
Kind of what Preston said, part of our job, and a big part of our job, is that we can get behind a client and find a way to motivate them to actually see the results that they want to see, but also looking at past clients and showing them that we have broken through the plateau in many instances before, and we can continue to break through it because we haven't reached, you're in the clinic right now and the center right now, and we haven't reached a point where your progress or your growth has stopped yet.
Yeah, and that's interesting you bring that up because I was kind of chuckling internally to myself because I was thinking of the other day when I was actually going through, I'm in my 3rd round of boot camp right now, and as I was going through it, Santiago is my coach, and I think I said something to you like, how do I know that I'm making any progress? Like, yes, we see my thumb is moving, my fingers are moving, but I don't believe that it's getting any better. And then we went outside and we did some exercises, and you were just like, Maddie, you literally couldn't do that last week. Yeah. So I find it like funny because it is true. And I would love to go back to this concept of the plateau for a moment, just because I think for those of us who are survivors, and, we hear from medical professionals all the time, like, you'll do this therapy, we'll see how good you get, and then, that might just be everything, and we don't necessarily find out about an intervention such as neuroanimation that can help us get better. So when you encounter clients who have, quote-unquote, plateaued, or who fear that they are plateauing and they're looking for other solutions and they come across neuroanimation, how do you keep them motivated to keep working, that they will see progress? We don't know how much, but they will see something.
Yeah, that's part of why we start with, on the first day, part of what we do is a lot of assessments. And that way, that allows us to see as many details as we can on where they're at. So we can meticulously show them any slight progress is huge. Like any slight movement that happens is huge. That's part of it. Part of our protocol right now is that we do a lot of assessments on the first day, try to get an idea of where their baseline is and in terms of movements, cognition, and that allows them to, as we continue to move forward, compare day by day. Okay, we saw a little more movement here. We saw a little more dexterity here, and that's also why we take a lot of videos. So we see it because we were there. We're with them day in and day out for 5 days a week. But it takes a little more. It takes a video to show them this is different than 2 days ago. This is different than a week ago.
I'm a huge proponent of that. As you guys both know, I'm a huge video taker because I don't believe making progress. And then when I see it, it's like, oh, wow, cool. Like, I literally could not form a pinch before, and now I'm almost able to pick up this tiny object with 2 fingers. Like, it's crazy to be able to see that.
For sure.
So I will say from my own experience, I find that all of the coaches are super supportive and they're there to help. And I just feel like I'm super encouraged to try my best because also I don't want to let you guys down either. I want to make as much progress as I can to help myself, yes, but also to show what is possible and what people like me are capable of doing. I find the environment of the clinic to be very motivating and the coaches that are in the area. I was wondering if you guys could just talk to me a little bit about what maybe your typical day looks like in the clinic.
The day of a coach, which is part of both of our jobs, we're working directly with the clients in a one-on-one setting throughout the day. Depending on the program that client is going through, it'll determine what our session with them will look like. But we'll spend quite a bit of time preparing for their sessions, making sure that we have a good plan in the gym area, the consolidation portion of their therapy, as well as just thinking about what would be best for the client today and for their program in general. We have a bigger picture plan for each client, but we also have a day-to-day. And then for us specifically, right, we're meeting with our team and just helping our coaches coach their clients well, right? Talking about the specific barriers that they're running into, the encouraging progress that their clients are seeing. I mean, everything about our job is about the clients that we're working with, the warriors that are getting better with us.
So it's a very customized experience, right? Because
Absolutely.
Each client is going to have different needs and goals. And how long does it take you to really get to know a client to better understand what is going to be the best plan for them in their time here?
Part of the first day is not just assessments, though. It's conversation, right? We're talking to them. We're understanding who they are, what their goals are, right? Where they want to get to, what do they care about. We're having what we call a motivational conversation with them as well, just trying to understand where they're coming from and then motivate them that they can get better, they can do this. Our therapy is not easy, but yeah, I mean, we can't approach this from a cookie cutter sense by any means. Each person is different. Each person has specific needs, and we need to be very, very attentive to what those needs are and what their goals are, because we want to get them to where they want to go. Ultimately, this is their program, and we're along to make it as good as we can for them. So,
I think a major thing about the first day is that we, within the first hour, try to get to know the client. Part of what we coach our coaches to do is to actually engage them, get to know them, get to know who they are as a person, not just their symptoms or pathology. But if we don't have an idea of who our client is, we can get behind and motivate them. As we grow and in the kind of people that we continue to hire, like one thing that we really care about is the relational capabilities of the person, like being able to actually connect with people. That is part of what we consider very, very important in neuroanimation.
Yeah, I think that's true because being in the theater and then out doing the consolidation activities with your coach, like this is a person that you spend a lot of time with. Like, I live by myself, but I would imagine like if I lived with someone, I'd be like, oh, I'm seeing this coach more than I'm seeing like my partner, or, like my husband or family or whatever. So it's definitely a big relationship building exercise too, between like a lot of relationship building happens between the coach and the client. And while you're navigating through that process as a coach in your day-to-day life, what are some of the biggest improvements that you've noticed?
I think the most emotionally impactful have been, there was a client that she got to start running again. And that was fantastic. Just getting, like seeing the excitement in her face and the excitement in her family's face when she was able to go for a run. When at the center, she was able to like run around the track one lap again for the first time, or play pickleball comfortably. Like that was really impactful, mainly because she really cared about that. And she wasn't that far from it, but we helped her get to that next step or jump that next hurdle, and that was very, very exciting for us to watch.
Yeah, I think the ones that are most impactful are just the improvements that change their quality of life, right? We've seen somebody improve in their balance by over 600% from when they came into us from when they ended. And them being able to push a shopping cart in like a grocery store compared to being in a wheelchair, right? It's like that completely changes your life. When you see somebody have a 1,000% improvement in short-term memory, that completely changes their life, right? It's those kinds of improvements that we know we're making a real impact that's going to be lasting. And in any small win, any small gain, the ability to move a finger again for the first time, that is life-changing. But it's those really big gains that we see with a lot of our clients. Getting them out of a wheelchair again, getting them to be able to change their glasses prescription because their vision improved, right? It's like
it's crazy.
It's incredible to watch, and it's a privilege to be a part of. Those are the gains that I will remember for the rest of my life.
Because there are certainly some huge gains that clients have made, but I also understand that everyone is different. And like you said, even small gains can amount to huge progress over time, but not everyone is able to think that way. Like I think about myself, like I can maybe I'm able to open like a finger or whatever, but I'm greedy and I want to be able to do everything with my hand. So how do you manage clients' expectations for the progress that they may be making?
I think that's interesting too, because even in your case, like you're greedy and you want to see more progress, but that's actually what's made your program so impactful and so significant in your own progress because you have motivation, you have grit, you are moving towards a goal, and you're going to keep fighting towards that. Like, we actually have seen multiple times that the motivation and the emotional engagement that clients have with the therapy itself brings a lot of progress in itself. Like, that gets them a long way. And we get behind that. Like them wanting to see more doesn't negate that they are seeing a lot right now. And we need to be able to bring it back to that. We need to be able to show them that that's the case as well. Because going from like 0 to 1 is what gets you to 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like, but you can't, like, this jump doesn't happen without this progress. So,
no limits, right?
That's the goal.
Yeah, no limits. I mean, yeah, that's why we advocate so much for, like, just any progress that you see whatsoever has to be meaningful. Because it is, like, in reality. Being able to move a finger or move your toes again for the first time, or get out of, like, an AFO and walk for 2 steps before you have to put it back on. Like, whatever it is, that those small jumps that you make, they're progress. They're moving forward, right? And that is all. That's what we're all about here. Is we're about instilling hope back into people, and that's going to come from really small gains that snowball into big changes over time.
I think one of the best things that I've noticed is that when I'm going through the program, making small gains, everyone gets so excited. It's like we have a little party. Like, it's crazy how excited every single one of the coaches gets when me or anyone else accomplishes, like, the smallest thing. But like you said, it's a huge improvement. So can you talk a little bit just about the team culture from your side on, the coaching culture?
Yeah, our coaches they're incredible. We have gotten so lucky with the coaches that have joined our team. They care about the clients they work with and the clients that are just around them so much. Even if they're not working with them in a one-on-one setting, they're interacting with them. Like, the coaches that we have, they're always wanting to learn. They're humble and constantly looking on how to do better at their job. And but they're also they're so motivated to do anything that they can to make the best program possible for their clients. And it's a privilege to work on a team like that. It's an incredible culture. The energy that you feel when coming into a NeuroAnimation center, I've had many people comment on it. It's like nothing else because we're all just so excited to be there, and we're so excited about the progress that we make day in and day out with our clients. So
yeah, I mean, I think I speak for both of us just by saying that we like what we do, and what we do is impactful and it's helping people, and that's true, and that makes a big part of why I feel excited to go to work. But I also feel excited because of the people that are there. Yep. I really enjoy working with them because, I mean, the excitement that you see when someone makes progress, and all the coaches are just going crazy about it.
Exactly. No, it's the best.
Like, people are
awesome.
yelling and playing music, and and it's a professional environment where we get to show how excited we are with other people and for their progress, even if we're not the ones directly working with them.
And I feel like that's even more motivating as the client. Like, when you see how excited all of the coaches get when you achieve something, anything, the smallest thing, it makes you want to work even harder and achieve more.
100%. I mean, and even I think that also is one of the things that helps, where see the small progress as really big and significant. If other people can notice it as really big and significant, I think sometimes it takes more than one pair of eyes to actually get someone to be motivated.
I've definitely started to reframe my perspective around that and thinking okay, well, yeah, maybe I couldn't open my thumb before. Now, yes, my thumb isn't opening all the way, but it's starting to open more, and that's just the beginning.
I think on our end, right, as managers, we've put so much effort into the culture and the atmosphere, the energy that our center has because of how important it is. When you think about neurological recovery, it can't just be physical. Like, I mean, part of the neurological system is emotion too, and we need people to be excited to be there, to want to be there, and to have a meaningful professional relationship, yes, but meaningful relationship with the coach that they're working with, because that is part of their recovery. Is the emotions that they're experiencing as they're going through our therapy. So
I'm sure you get a lot of clients who come through who have gone through various therapies in the past. Maybe they've tried traditional OT and PT or worked with a private trainer or something like that, and then they come to NeuroAnimation. So what makes NeuroAnimation different from other standard therapies that the clients may have done in the past?
Yeah, so it's different in a couple of senses, right? One, like PT, OT speech, what they're doing is they're using the musculoskeletal system to try to rehabilitate the neurological system. I have nothing against those therapies because they're doing everything that they can with the resources that they have, right? NeuroAnimation, what we're focused on here is motor learning and motor exploration leading to blood flow being increased in the neurological system in the hippocampus, leading to neurological strengthening as a whole. You're strengthening the system that is weakened, right? That's what NeuroAnimation is offering. That's what's different compared to traditional rehabilitation. And that's why it's so much more effective. What we hope is that we can work with PTs, OTs, people that are working with a similar population to ours for the benefit of all of the clients that need our help. We're not trying to position ourselves against standard rehab. We're offering something that standard rehabilitation simply can't, and that is deep brain growth in the neurological system. So.
One of the things that I think is most unique about the neuroanimation experience is actually when you're in there, in the theater itself, and you're playing these fun games. And it's just such a special and different experience from therapies that I've tried in the past. I've never been in anything like that. Santiago, could you tell us a little bit just about what it's like in the theater?
The theater, the therapy room is this room with 12 cameras surrounding the client. These 12 cameras are tracking all your movements down to your fingertips, and this is controlling an image that is right in front of you in a giant projector. It's being projected on the wall, and your movements with one arm will control the characters on the screen that you are watching. So as you move one arm, you control the speed, dexterity, and direction of the different characters on the screen. It can be either arm. Depending, we try to use the impaired arm whenever we have stroke clients, so they can get some dexterity, mobility, premotor control, and thinking with that impaired side.
What is something that you wish people knew about brain recovery?
It's a great question. I think the first thing that comes to mind is with the amount of like the clients that we interact with, the people that we talk to that are interested in our program, one of the biggest questions that I receive is like, is recovery at my stage still possible? I want everybody to know that the answer is yes. Like regardless of the stage of recovery that you're in, we can still make progress in neurological recovery. We just have to do it right. It takes the right tools. It takes the right mindset, the motivation, the attitude. All of these are important, but the answer ultimately is yes, we can make progress, and that's why we're here. That's why this company exists. We're here for the benefit of the people that we can treat, for the people that can benefit from our therapy, because there is always hope, and yes, the progress is always possible.
The recovery is going to be strongly connected to whether or not they also believe that there's likeliness, there's a possibility, there's a chance to grow out of whatever stage of recovery they're in. I mean, what we've seen over and over is that there is a significant difference between someone who is giving it their all, actually being engaged with the therapy, believing and seeing and working towards the goals that they have set. And part of our job is to get you to understand that this is possible, that you can grow out of impairments or different neurological pathologies. There is change and there is a growth in the brain, and our job is to get people to believe that that's possible as well, and to motivate them to move towards that goal. For that to happen, they need to buy in as well. So.
Thank you both for joining me today. That was beautifully stated, and what an amazing conversation. I'm sure that our viewers will also learn a lot from this. Thank you, Preston. Thank you, Santi, and see you later.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.